Get him. New Orleans Saints quarterback Drew Brees has something to say, and now he draws enormous backlash from teammates, other professional athletes like LeBron James, and we going to talk about it on this side, New Media. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to my channel for the latest and greatest in boxing, and in this case, in football and sports. Smash the like button. We working. Now, I got some work to do. New Media, we control the narrative. Listen, different type of video, but I got to say my piece on this and let you know and do what I normally do, inform the public, as it regards sports and world issues. I use my platform for multiple things. So Drew Brees is the latest to open his mouth. Everybody got something to say with these troubled times, these uncertain times, pandemics. We got peaceful protests, and people are disgusted with the judicial system and the officers. Shout out to them upgrading the charges for the 4 officers involved. That was needed. I think that was the right thing to do. Now, Drew Brees opened his mouth with an opinion, and listen, I never really had anything to say negative about Drew Brees, but he's dead wrong when it comes to this. Actually, my father and myself, Niners fans, 49ers fans, and I respect Drew Brees' gameplay because he's always played us tough, like clutch, close games. He's an elite level quarterback. But sports is sports. Some people try to dabble into the politics and they know not what they speak of. So you guys see it. It's all over social media. Drew Brees is getting dragged by everybody. ESPN got a link. And it was just a foolish thing to do. And we'll talk about it. So it says Saints Drew Brees draws backlash for disrespecting the flag comment, right? And it says after earlier sharing a message of unity on social media, New Orleans Saint quarterback Drew Brees attracted backlash Wednesday when he reiterated his stance on how he will, quote, never agree with anybody disrespecting the flag of the United States of America during an interview with Yahoo Finance, which he should have never did, because now, they on him. They on his head. They were the first comments in wake of George Floyd's killing. Last week, Brees' remarks on the flag drew a sharp rebuke on social media across sports landscape, including LA Lakers star LeBron James. Brees gave a lengthy response to ESPN when asked about the perceived conflict between his stances, including a potential divide in his locker room, where players like Malcolm Jenkins and Demario Davis are among the leaders of the players' coalition seeking social justice and racial equality. Quote, I love and respect my teammates, and I stand right there with them in regards to fighting for racial equality and justice, Brees said. I also stand with my grandfathers who risked their lives for this country. Oh, here we go. And countless other military men and women who do it on a daily basis. An emotional Jenkins in a video that has since been deleted from social media said he was hurt by Brees' comments and they were extremely self-centered. Our communities are under siege and we need help, Jenkins said in the deleted video. And what you're telling us is don't ask for help that way. Ask for it in a different way. I can't listen to it when you ask that way. We're done asking, Drew. And people who share your sentiments, who express those and push them throughout the world, the airwaves are the problem. This is his teammate saying this. And it's unfortunate because I considered you a friend, past tense. I looked up to you. You're somebody who I had a great deal of respect for, but sometimes you should shut the up. Jenkins said the video was made just prior to Brees reaching out to him to discuss his point of view. So, damage control. But Jenkins still originally posted the video because it's important for anyone who wants to consider themselves an ally to know how these words and actions affect those you, quote, want to help. Jenkins then deleted the original video, later posted an updated one saying, even though we're teammates, I can't let this slide. It's going down, people. New Media, we control the narrative. On Twitter, LeBron James said, kneeling during the national anthem has nothing to do with the disrespect of the U.S. flag and our soldiers. Brees was outspoken in 2016 when he supported Colin Kaepernick's desire to speak out against racial injustice, but disagreed with Kaepernick's method of protest during the national anthem. In 2017 in London, Drew Brees and other Saints players took a knee before the playing of the national anthem and stood for the anthem prior to the game against the Miami Dolphins. Saints' decision was a response to President Trump at the time, saying NFL players who choose not to stand for them should be fired for the anthem. Right? Now people's true intent is coming out at the worst time. Brees has not wavered from that stance of not kneeling during the anthem, though he insisted Wednesday that his actions should represent what kind of person he is. Nope. I believe we should all stand for the national anthem and respect our country and all of those sacrifices, all of us who sacrifice so much of our freedoms, Brees said in a text message. That includes all those who marched for women's suffrage in the 20s, yada. Man, I don't even read all this stuff he's saying. This is cap. And I would ask anyone who has a problem with what I said, look at the way I live my life. Do I come across as someone who is not doing my absolute best to make this world a better place? We don't know. We know you as a quarterback. Like I said, we don't kick it with you. We don't know what you and your friends talk about over, wine and crackers and salami and stuff. We don't know those things. We know on Sunday football, you get down on the field and you can pass the ball. So how do we know how you live your life? What cause has Drew Brees for the soldiers and stuff like that, or black people or Mexican people or minorities? Like, we don't know all your affiliations. I certainly haven't heard him as like no type of savior or activist. He says he's doing his best to make the world a better place and give opportunities to those who don't have it, which he's wrong. This is white privilege. He's saying he's giving people the best treatment and making the world a better place, but no, you're not, because people are screaming for help and you're rolling up your window and driving by because you don't agree with their methods, right? That's what I meant by actions speak louder than words. My actions speak for themselves. Brees was referencing his social media post Wednesday morning, which began with the header, "Words to Unite," and talked about the importance of teaching and modeling to children what is love and respect. See, this is all as a post. I post memes. That's not what I'm about. My whole life ain't a joke or a meme. So I'm not even really trying to hear what Brees is saying. This all sounds like damage control. They're saying every locker room I've been in, Brees wrote, don't just talk about it, be about it. Acknowledge the problem, which you're kind of not doing, and accept the fact that we all have a responsibility to make it better. Your actions speak so loudly, I can't hear for what you're saying. Brees and his wife, Brittany, have been heavily involved in charitable efforts throughout his 19-year career. So, ESPN doing the fluff piece and making it sound like he's what it says, including a recent donation of $5 million to help Louisiana during the Rona. And I mean, you would probably want to give back to the city that you made your whole name with, with the Saints. Right? Saints and New Orleans Pelicans owner Gail Benson released a lengthy statement Monday decrying police brutality, announcing the creation of social justice. Listen, the bottom line is this. People like Drew Brees, to me, you're not helping the situation. You're saying, oh, I've done this. Like, first of all, look, this is Drew Brees. He all smiles with Donald Trump, somebody who's inciting violence and actually not making it any better, right? This is pictures of, former pictures of him and Trump, right? And he's saying he's making the world all smiles. And I notice in America, what I've noticed is a lot of people, they won't feel it until it happens to them, So he's taking a knee and acting like he's about it during this time, at the point where he did it, like the article said. But now he's recanting and showing you his true colors of what he wanted, and what he's against and what he's for. And the thing is, I see why he's getting dragged on social media. Just go to Twitter. You see what people are saying. Look, LeBron James rips Drew Brees over comments about kneeling. Bleacher Report. I love it. Shout out to LeBron James. Look, LeBron James didn't appreciate Drew Brees' comments Wednesday about protests during the national anthem. The LA Lakers star provided a response in multiple messages on Twitter. And then he, prefaced the interview. Brees said he wouldn't support kneeling during the national anthem because he believes it's disrespectful. Right? Wow, man. Hold on. Let me pause this because, can't get no copyright. Wow, man. Shaking my head emoji. Is it still surprising at this point? Sure isn't. You literally still don't understand why Kaepernick was kneeling on one knee. Has absolutely nothing to do with the disrespect of the American flag and our soldiers, men and women who keep our land free. My father-in-law was one of those, right? So he's like, man, how thick are you? You just don't get it. One of those men who fought as well for this country. I asked him questions about it and thanked him for his time and his commitment. He never found Kaepernick peacefully protesting offensive because he and I both know what is right, and what is right is right, and what is wrong. God bless you. So he can't understand it. And I'm in the same boat as Mr. LeBron James. Like, this is the part of the problem where you have people who are, that's the problem with social media. Everybody got something to say. Everybody want to weigh in, and some people choose to weigh in at the worst times. At what point is peacefully protesting by not taking a part in the national anthem, right? How is that hurting anyone? Meanwhile, you have black people and minorities at large who are dying in police custody. So what is more offensive? Kaepernick not bothering anyone, training like regular, staying in shape, not failing any drug tests, and in the sport that he's in, peacefully protesting, saying, hey, I don't want to be a part of the national anthem. He literally said this. He says, I'll stand up and I won't peacefully protest the national anthem with the knee when the flag starts representing what it's supposed to represent, which is democracy, home of the brave, equality, due process. He says at that point, then I'll get back up and start standing. And they ostracize this man and they blackball this man out of the league. We know this. He had to have like private tryouts and nobody picked him up. Nobody wanted to touch him. People like the Papa John racist dude spoke out against him. And look, I just posted this. So follow me at Boxingego1. It says, if I tried to tell y'all was a person, this is what Kaepernick, among others, people like myself, new media, Ego's Army, told you was going on in this world. And people tried to, like Paulie Malignaggi in boxing, they tried to, turn the other cheek and lend a blind eye to the situation. Like it was all tall tales. These were just urban legends that black people and minorities have been telling you about, right? And now you see it with the Big Floyd situation. Rest in peace, George Floyd. And it just looks like everything Colin Kaepernick, everything I've told you on my channel, we have now been almost exonerated. It's starting to make a lot of sense. So for Drew Brees to share these dumb comments and make it look like you're being disrespectful, he probably turned his comments off. I promise you. I haven't even checked. This is a freestyle video. Let's see if he has his comments open. Nope. Oh, I guess actually he does. Look, yeah, big dog. Yeah, dog, you big canceled. Now it makes sense why the Saints always lose in the playoff on some crazy ish. You the only one bringing bad karma, clearly. This, I don't know who this is. Someone with the verified page. B. Dot. You owe Colin an apology. See, they going in. They dragging him. You wouldn't be a quarterback without your black teammates, right? We need to hear from you, Drew. We're all waiting. See? Chiming in at the wrong point. He getting dragged. Look, they called him a clown, a singer. Bro, you getting bodied by a singing nigga. Like Drake said. Look, everybody's dragging him. You don't see nothing. Tamir Rice, 12-year-old murdered by police, playing in the park. There goes your fan base. What a disappointment. He might as well just retire. Some people were questioning based on his age. I think he was like in the 96 draft or whatever. He was getting up there in age. You damn near might as well retire because you hurt a lot of fans. And you fight, or not fight, excuse me. You play in a city like New Orleans, which has a very deep-rooted historical black culture as well. I'm not saying black people are the only one in Louisiana, but in New Orleans, it has big, deep roots and Mardi Gras and the French Quarters and stuff. So you in the wrong place, partner, right? Brees, you have lost a lot of respect today because you still not understanding why we kneel. Again, see, and the thing is, I could speak for this personally. I won't be surprised if he turned his comments off, you know, because that's what people do when they can't take the heat and they get dragged and they start seeing like, damn, here's what they think about you. Here's what they think about you. And they start seeing all the comments because they said something ill. Then they want to hide and disable the comments. Nah, let that ride. Like Denzel said, man, you got to let it breathe. Breathe. Yeah, let that breathe, Drew. Breeze? Drew, breathe. That's what I'm going to call him. Because they kneeled on that man's neck and you acting like you still don't understand. The timing, the insensitivity of it all, and the timing of what you said is all wrong. And if you look at the man in the mirror, you look at your pigment, you look at the who you are, you don't have to experience a lot of what people are talking about, you know. And you posting all these Memorial Days and stuff and making it like people look at his kids. Your kids ain't probably ever gonna have to deal with some of the things that George Floyd had to deal with. You don't have to deal with it. If you look at him, he just look like a, you know, innocent random Caucasian man. So you don't have to deal with this. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about getting profiled and pulled over, you know, without probable cause or for no reason. Look, you look like a wholesome, all-American person, which usually get left alone a lot more unless you into some stuff, right? And for you to choose this timing, and look, you on a private jet with your family and stuff. So you're the elite. You're the elite 1% group, you know, rich, sports player, athlete, complexion for the protection, right? So, and you with Trump in these pictures and stuff. It's not a shame. I mean, it's no wonder why life is good and peachy and you don't see and you don't understand, because you don't have to ever go through half of what you were a standout. You got drafted 2001 combine 19 years ago, you know, so you've had it made for 2 decades basically, you know. And he's trying to act like he don't understand why Kaepernick did it. Like, and see, that's what his teammates said the right thing. Some people should shut the fuck up, because at the end of the day, if anything, Colin Kaepernick, I bet you his page don't look like that. If anything, Colin Kaepernick, as I mentioned in this video, is his statements and what he's been saying and him kneeling is more justified than ever when you see what's happening from city to city in America, right? Yesterday, 50 states protested peacefully. This is not and has never been about black versus white. It's about everybody versus racist, you know, everybody versus oppressors, you know. That's what this is about. It's never been about, oh, we hate this or we hate this. It's about everybody versus the ones that are causing this type of pain, and people are fed up. Look, E40. Ooh, ooh, Colin Kaepernick. Been about my cash ever since all the little young mustache. Bro, he ain't getting reamed. Ain't nobody mad at with him. Look, LaTondra Jones, Mayweather. Why didn't they just listen to you? See? If anything, look, the people are speaking. If anything, Colin Kaepernick and people like myself, because I know I've been down for the ride, right? But Colin Kaepernick, because he's the man, and he was peacefully protesting, which garnered worldwide news coverage. They did him wrong. And at a time like this, it shows you that he was mistreated and blackballed for no reason, tarred and feathered. So for Drew Brees to come out at a time like this, you've totally lost it. You way off the mark, because if anything, Colin Kaepernick, everything he did, everything he said is justified, because years later, it's the same thing. Rodney King, when did that happen? In the 90s? We're in a whole new decade and it's still happening. Tupac Shakur, how long has he been gone? 20 years? Listen, I see no changes. All I see is racist faces. Misplaced hate makes disgrace to racists. We under. I wonder what it takes to make this one better place. Let's erase the waste it. When did he record that? And we're still here dealing with the same thing. A mod situation. Jogging. 2 vigilante white dudes killed this man on tape. Right? Within a week or two, you see what the police did, which is why they've all been charged at this point. And Chauvin got upgraded to a second degree. The streets, you way off the mark, bro. You so disconnected with what it really is, and I don't know if you letting Trump gas you up or whatever, but again, there's a reason why Colin Kaepernick, he could sit back, right? Look, he donated. He's a good dude, bro. I want to meet him. I need to meet Colin, bro. But he stood for something, and now he gets to reap the benefits and the fruits of his labor. You don't see people dragging him and coming for him, but this was a very insensitive and distasteful thing from Drew Brees. And I honestly don't care what happens with the rest of his career. And I see why people are coming for him and have lost respect. That's it. Some people, again, that did the right thing, that stood up for, it doesn't matter. It's not about black, white, Mexican, and all this stuff. It's about what's right. And if you ain't willing to stand up for what's right, then you in the wrong and you part of the problem. So goodbye. You canceled. Like I said, you don't see people coming for Colin Kaepernick because now it's starting to make a whole lot of sense. Everything he stood for, everything he was saying and why he was doing it, it ain't changed. So you should be bowing down like, man, hey, I could understand if Drew Brees said something like, hey, 4 years ago, Colin, when you were taking the knee, I'll be honest, I didn't respect it or I didn't understand it. But man, they just killed George Floyd and this keeps happening. I get you now, man. I was wrong. That's what you should be doing because he was clearly in the right. Just like Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder in boxing. Oh my God. WBC to this day. Right. And then you see a lot of people, they only hear like Tupac said on my Ego Valley videos. They like the Judas did to Jesus. They only hear to cause confusion. They're trying to make people think that the whole Black Lives Matter, that's what's in the microscope right now. But it's what people want. We got to see a change. You know what I'm saying? It's like what people need to see. People keep finding it's like they're trying to compare tragedies. You see what I'm saying? They're trying to compare tragedies. They don't like the fact that black people are standing up for people who have been oppressed and people of color and representing. So you see a lot of the racist people that are being outed. They're feeling mighty uncomfortable right now. And what they're doing is they're trying to, a lot of them that are racist, they're saying, oh, all lives matter. No, black lives don't matter. But that's almost an oxymoron. How can all lives matter if a group within all, of course, all, like nobody wants to see anybody lose a life. You don't have the right to take human life. I get that. But how can all lives matter if under that umbrella are black lives and clearly they being wiped off the map at a disproportionate percentile, you know, given the population, or being sent to jail, you know, with crazy charges, while cop killers, people who are the cops and killing citizens, not doing their job correctly, right? And look at this shirt. It says, I know my rights. I know my rights, you know, abusing the law and really know better. Like Pac said, he said, the cops, LAPD, the cops, they the biggest gang. They the biggest gang in America, you know? So there's people, they're not reading Miranda rights. They're not going by the book. They turning off their cameras, you know, their body cams and stuff like that. Bring Cap backs. Shout out to him, you know? And there's people like that. And with that being said, you can't say all lives matter when under that bigger umbrella would be black lives, and America hasn't even taken care of that. America hasn't even solved that problem. So how can all lives matter if you don't care about a black life? You see what I'm saying? So shout out to Kaepernick. Definitely he could sit back and enjoy time with his family and, you know, keep the movement going. You see why people are doing this. And, you know, I really have no interest in hearing from Drew Brees. He should have just shut up, try to get him a ring. I hope he ain't never get no ring. I hope he don't never get no other ring. You see what I'm saying? It's like that. Shout out to LeBron James, Colin Kaepernick, and anybody who's fighting the same fight because they know what is wrong. J. Cole, he's another person. Great soul. You know, everybody could see it. And that's why you see it. They trying to make, all lives matter, and they trying to distract you from what's real. They trying to distract you into making you feel like you're being you're being a derelict or disrespectful by kneeling. It has nothing to do with the national anthem. And, you know, I might even have to start another channel or something, bro, because it's not. My dad was in the military. I'm a military brat. That my whole upbringing was in, you know, being on military bases and shit. Shout out to Travis Air Force Base. Right. So I know the military more so than you. You know, the people that a lot of these racists are trying to worship right now, like Donald Trump, he didn't get drafted. You know, he wasn't willing to serve in the military. But now you got people like Drew Brees, who's with Donald Trump, a man who ain't never served in nobody's military, who wasn't even a real politician and somehow became president. And he's making it like you being disrespectful if you're kneeling. It has nothing to do with disrespect for the flag. You know how many fights I've went to where Keisha Cole was singing the national anthem before a boxing match, and there were people who didn't stand up. There were people who were texting on their cell phones. But now all of a sudden, when the ugly truth comes out and people, they don't want to have to deal with it, they'll make it like it's a big deal. But what about when Keisha Cole or Tyrese and all these boxing matches, when people, even within the media, they're not getting up. Not everybody is getting up. Not everyone's hand over heart, right? They're texting on the phone and carrying on and, you know, on their computers, finishing their articles, all types of stuff like that, right? Not paying attention. But then when Colin Kaepernick is doing it for a peaceful protest and an actual cause, which he's 100% right on, you know, because what he's saying is going on, then that's the enemy. That you doing it wrong, right? Why did they take the national anthem? When I was a kid, we used to, before class, we had to hand over heart and sing the national anthem. So if Americans like Drew Brees that want to act fake, right, and they want to act like you're being disrespectful to the flag, the U.S. flag, by peacefully protesting something that's wrong, right, then why did school systems in the United States take the national anthem and pull it? They don't make you do the national anthem anymore. Look, we can pull it up. United, let's pull it up. States, schools discontinues singing the national anthem schools. I don't know exactly what search terms. Do American schools make you sing the national anthem? Because they used to in school. We said the Pledge of Allegiance. Well, that's what I'm referring to. However, I was half asleep, so this indoctrination. Hold on. So yeah, that's what I'm referring to. The Pledge of Allegiance, right? I pledge allegiance, right? Discontinues. And a lot of what they teach you in school, like Christopher Columbus discovered America, ain't true. How do you discover a land full of indigenous people who already have their own ecosystem? Many schools skip the Pledge of Allegiance. See, why isn't Drew Brees mad at that? Look, they used to make you do that. So is that so the schools discontinued that? So look, the allegiance of the pledge in changing times. Do all American children recite the Pledge of Allegiance? So do you think so? Colin Kaepernick and others are protesting peacefully because black people are getting killed at an alarming rate, right? And that's Drew Brees. Oh, this is wrong. You're disrespecting the veterans and the fallen soldiers and people who protected this country and democracy, blah, blah, blah. But what about when the Pledge of Allegiance gets removed from schools? Do you see Drew Brees ever commenting, or people like that ever commenting on that and saying, hey, this is wrong? Look, court ruling of the Pledge of Allegiance. Why don't we still do that? You know? So once again, in America, they pick and choose their battles. You know, when Trump says build a wall and riles people up and creates further divide, right? And Muslim bans and travel bans and black people are this and you guys got nothing to lose, black people, your schools are already broke. And he says all this crazy creations. You know, where's Drew Brees at then? So shut it now. Let me know what you guys think. We working. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego. the future of boxing.